All right, time to review. Final 3 minutes of Season 2, Episode 2, Sausage Party Foodtopia. I supervised animation on this here in Vancouver about 2.5 years ago in the summer of 2023. And yeah, this was a fun episode to work on. Lots of characters, lots of animators, 22 animators I recall, working on this episode, so a lot of moving parts. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of moving parts with these wild berries. I covered that in the last episode, and we'll pick up where we left off here. So you can see that as Frank is coming into screen here, he's just finally understanding, wait a second, the wild berries maybe aren't our allies. Maybe they're kind of crazy and out of control. So you can see he's got some really nice hand acting going on here, some big silhouette line of action changing. And Barry on screen left and Sammy on screen right are both listening to what he has to say. Here comes the Wild Berry Chief. Really nice silhouettes on the hands here. Anytime you've got characters with the big hands, we really want to make sure that we are accentuating those as much as possible. So you can see we've got this here, nice silhouette. Over here, nice silhouette. Yeah, really just working on accentuating the entire character silhouette and using the hands to create the extremes on left and right there. Funny facial expression. Great. These characters had so many scary teeth too. It was it was kind of obvious that they were, wild characters. Poor Jack. All these wild berries attacking him. Sammy here now, he's getting his moment. He's very theatrical, the way he talks, the way he deals with everything. Oh, some nice smear there on the hands. Watch what's going on with Frank's hands as they're going up. Nice reversal there. Look at that. That's terrific. You got the fingers up here. And then, boom, they're going to stretch out from where they were on the previous frame. It's really just going to help sell the speed and the cartooniness of the acting here. Even Sammy here has a nice line of action reversal on the hand. Look at the fingers dragging here and then overlapping and settling into place. That's terrific. And again, poor Jack. All these wild berries all over him. We sometimes animated some hero wild berries, as they're called. As I'm just going through them, I'm seeing there's so much going on here and setting up everything to act basically as particles of a liquid as they're being thrown around. You can see as Jack turns around here, it's almost like the wild berries are splashing to the left here. Yeah, terrific busyness going on. And then you got some wild berries that are attached to Jack, just so it doesn't feel like, they're constantly just being thrown all over the place. We assume that they're biting into Jack's stomach there. Barry, first one, he's gonna jump in there. Look at this. This is terrific. And this would have been in the storyboards. First of all, you've got Barry with his crazy cartoony feet here. And he's going to run into screen, take up the entire screen as he runs out to screen right, and then he's going to come into the next scene from screen left, hooking up to that. Great stuff. Focal length is really helping us here so that Barry gets really small really quickly as he's tumbling forward. Barry's really going to stretch out here as he's falling. Boom. Jumping up, spinning around, kicking a wild berry. So a wild berry like this had to be animated individually by the animator, not just for the the posing that we've got here, but also just because it's interacting with one of our main characters. So in that case, we have to animate that character keyframe, frame by frame. Funny posing there. Barry's going to jump over to the right now. Swing around. And you can see all the wild berries bouncing off of Jack here. Some of them are sticking to him just to give a sense of solidity. We can see the wild berries. They've got their scary faces here. Boom. Here comes Barry. He's going to save Jack by going into his pants, tossing all these wild berries out of here. These would have all been done in the effects department. So I don't think, yeah, maybe there's a couple here. Like this one. This would have been animated. Most of the time you can tell which ones are animated because they have the hands and the feet. The ones that are done by the effects department that are done as particles wouldn't have hands and feet on them. There's just too much contact to deal with there. So that's the quick and easy way to go through and be able to tell, oh yeah, that one was animated, this one here too. That one was animated by a keyframe animator. And it's done by an animator that I'm still working with now. And yeah, it's great to see people that you get to know over the years and see their strengths and do some funny, entertaining stuff. Whoosh! There it goes, bouncing off. I'm going back in. Barry's reassuring Jack here in a whoosh, in a way, manner of speaking. I don't know if it's exactly reassuring the way that Barry's going to be controlling Jack here, but it is what it is. Jack looks, oh, okay, well, he doesn't look reassured, but I think in the long run he's okay with this as opposed to the alternative. Here we get breakdancing Jack going on, whoosh, all kinds of craziness. Look at the smear there as he's coming around. Look at that hand. That's wonderful. That's really helping sell the speed and the cartooniness. If we just had a hand up here and then we had a hand down here, it's not going to read as well. And I mean, unless you're going to increase the frame rate or something and do this on 48 frames a second instead of 24, the smears really help sell the speed. And what he wants to do here is he wants Jack to go and grab Sammy and Frank, because now there's more wild berries coming from behind. Whoosh, big grab. And then we're going to pan up, just do this really quick zip pan up till we can see more wild berries coming in. Quick cutting here. We're just making sure that we keep the action going, keep the energy up. And now Jack is going to run off carrying his friends. Here come all the wild berries swinging through the trees. This would have all had to been keyframe animated because of the contacts with the vines. And then all these wild berries here, that would have just been procedural, all the ones following there. These ones will all be keyframed. Again, if it's got hands and feet, we're probably keyframing it. Barry can't see behind him. That's just, it's just a thing to say, oh no, looking behind him, but that's for the audience's edification. There's not actually any reality that Barry could look behind him. All right, going over here, we got some nice effects with all this gravel getting pushed into the water. We didn't actually know what was down in this pit. It was just blank, and the assets get filled in later. Dust being thrown off the edge. Yep, terrific stuff. Yeah, nice camera. They're changing the focal length as we pull back. And Barry's going to quickly figure out what needs to be done. And again, he's going to look back. He can't see anything, but it's for the audience's point of view. Really nice turn there, dragging Jack behind. Here come all those wild berries off in the distance. And they're so far off in the distance, it's just dramatic license. They wouldn't be 100 yards back. They were following Jack closely, but we need the space. We need the time here. Swinging on the vines would have been keyframed. You can see we got a hand here. You can see we've got nice eye direction. These ones down here, no arms, no hands. But when there's that many to animate, so thankful that crowd simulation can do all those particles. Really nice squash and stretch there on Jack's face. Jack's entire skull as it is. Jack's entire skull. Big turn again, and again, really accentuating this fact that, whoa, okay, Barry is controlling him, and it's not a voluntary turn from Jack. Taking advantage of the hair controls on Jack there, as they're dragging behind. Keeping Sammy and Frank in a nice composition so we can see their facial expressions. That's really great. You want to be able to relate to them. So Jack's looking down at Barry. Sammy and Frank are looking up at Jack. Everyone's got their interactions set up. I don't know what an Olympian is. And Barry's pretty proud of himself being a hot dog and all. Look at those teeth. There was a story for his chipped tooth. I can't remember what it was. Boom! Look at the way that Jack gets dragged out of here by Barry. One frame. Poof! Everything's so quick. So stretched out. That's very effective. And that hand coming out last, that really helps sell the speed of it all. So now Jack is running towards the wild berries. Why? Because he's got to get, and they're so happy. We're going to get him. He's got to get a running start. Get some nice dust puffs there. Look at all these wild berries. There's thousands of them. Now Jack can get his running start. Really nice camera work there, going backwards. Berries focused on running forward. You got a few wild berries attaching themselves to Jack. Jack's trying to shake them off while he's running. Coming to the edge of the cliff. Really nice asymmetry there in the face. Got this line of action through the head because you got the entire skull. You know, you can with these rigs especially, it was very cartoony. They were very malleable. You could do a lot to create a lot of asymmetrical shapes. Close up on Frank. Close up on Sammy. And I always say it. I love that you can see right through Sammy's mouth whenever he's going, oh, to the background behind. Close up on Barry. And that's great. Looking down. Here we go. And you know, that doesn't match cut exactly. It's not supposed to. So we've got our E.T. reference here. 40 years later. And all the wild berries over here on the left. Getting ready to jump and follow. Jack's up in the air here. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's it's a good visual. And Jack's so proud and so happy and really playing with that focal length so we can get Sammy and Frank really big in the foreground here. Always want to see the facial expressions as much as possible. Lots of hair animation on Jack there. We're gonna make it. Are we though? He's just kind of running on air here somehow. And some wild berries that tried to make it but fell through. And Jack does make it technically, but boy, this looks painful. Oh, dragging the head on there. Squash and stretch. Following along. The camera's twirling with Frank. Sammy going down the hill. We're not going to twirl the camera on this one. Give some nice, some solid contrast between the previous scene. Sammy, Frank, Jack, all bouncing down. Oh, boom, into that rock. Waving arms all over the place. Now we've got an over the shoulder. And Jack's going to come right into camera. Everything goes black. We hold there for a moment till we see the iris open. We don't know whose eyes we're looking through here. We're looking straight up. Ah, it's Barry, okay. So we don't know how much time has passed. We don't know exactly what has happened when all the craziness and the sound and everything stopped abruptly. Sammy's getting up, okay. He's asking about Frank. Frank's already there. You can see that Jack is kind of half conscious, whatever. But Frank, he's already recovered, and he's just been sitting there stewing and thinking about it. Oh, I'm fantastic. Frank's he gets sarcastic when he's upset. I'm just really once again letting it sink in. And again, he's going to talk about Brenda. He's been talking about Brenda for a few episodes now. And that just pushes Barry's buttons. Revolution that we started was pointless. And this is all just about Frank feeling bad and feeling betrayed. There's no such thing as Foodtopia. Always playing with the line of action on Frank here. Anytime we can reverse that line of action is going to be effective. And the love of my life, Brenda Bunsen, turned to wash my hands for nothing. And we've heard this before, and it's time for Barry to blow. He's been holding himself back up until now, and not any longer. We just get to really get this nice, slow dolly in on Frank here. We're really identifying with him, really feeling his emotion, and then boom, in comes the hand. And we actually go, that's funny, we actually go screen left for a couple frames, and then we follow we follow Frank, I should say, screen right. Don't quite know whose hand it is, but we can assume that it's Barry's. Boom. He hits Jack. Jack's moving a little bit, so we're getting the sense that Jack is waking up. You act like you're the only food who's ever lost a food. Oh, some nice smears there on the hands. Look at this finger dragging here. And then we come around. These fingers are all going to drag as this hand's coming up. Nice contrast, one hand after the other. Reversal. Yeah, nice. Drag those fingers on the reversing line of action. Really smear those hands. Smear the other hand. We don't want to smear them both at once necessarily. If you can go poof poof, it's so much more effective. Nice overlap there. Palm first, finger second. And Frank's got the big hands, the little eyes. Barry's got the big eyes, little hands. So really want to accentuate these when it comes to their acting. Frank has to really go big with his eyebrows and his eyes when there's a change, just because they're smaller. And we're going to see more subtlety when it comes to Barry. Some really nice posing there on Frank's hands. These gnarled fingers, really showing the tension and the strain. This line of action as well. Barry's going to get all in his face now, tackling him. Jack is half conscious and only partially able to see the food because of the bath salts. So we had to have rigs with Frank and Barry here where they had no eyes, they had no arms, and this is all that Jack can understand. He just sees two hot dogs maybe play fighting or dancing, we're not quite sure. But that's Jack's point of view. Then we get back to the audience point of view. Obviously, we can see the fighting going on. Another really nice hand smear here. That's terrific. Great stuff. Quickly turning around, camera's reacting. Sammy's going to separate them. Use your words, you guys. Well, they don't have the nicest words to use for each other. And Sammy's like, oh, but that's not what I meant. Oh, come on, you guys. Sammy just wants everybody to get along so he can go put on his theatrical presentations. You know, you're friends. Really nice composition here. Again, this would have been decided at the storyboard stage. Just keep things really simple in silhouette here. Then we got Jack over here in the background. Yeah, nice and clear. Some nice hand smears there on Barry. Two dogs that came from the same package. And we don't want Sammy to be doing much here. Barry is the focal point. So Sammy's just doing these little reactions. If Sammy did a big reaction, it'd be distracting too much from Barry. We don't want that. Yeah, nice, again, line of action changes there. And this is cool. We got the Barry right in the foreground so we can feel how close he is to us. And anytime, you know, it's not a fast action, but sure, it's cartoony. That's the style of the show. Let's drag those fingers. So then we can get this reversal as it comes up here. Whoosh, yeah, that's so nice. Just makes it feel really doughy and squashy and stretchy, and it lends itself to the idea that these are hot dogs, and they're kind of wobbly creatures. And you can see Frank is hurt here, but he's angry. It's all coming out. I'd walk away from you right now. Another nice smear here with the finger. That's great. What a nice piece of dragging body parts. Poor Sammy, caught in the middle. Some nice asymmetry here. Here comes Barry again. Whap! if you're gonna go slap somebody, you know, I mean, you could just slap somebody, but if you can jump up, spin around and do it, yeah, that's more cartoony. It's gonna add some humor to the pathos of the whole thing. And Jack is gonna respond here, and this is a good story point because Frank pushes Jack's head the other way, and we need Jack's head to be looking this way. Again, this would have been decided at the storyboard stage. We need Jack to be looking over here so that he can see what the ultimate story point of this episode is before we go to the next episode. And Jack's like, I can see lights, and he's like, oh, at first he's happy, and then he's realizing this is, oh, maybe I'm having brain trauma. But then Sammy sees the same thing, and he's immediately reacting in a way that the audience doesn't quite know what it is yet. So we're just giving the information bit by bit. Funny expressions on Barry and Frank here. And again, Barry is so much shorter than Frank, but his face is so much larger. They're very Abbott and Costello kind of characters this way, taken to the extreme. Nice, slow dolly back. We can see that Jack and Sammy, they've already accepted what's going on back there, and now we can see this. Is it Foodtopia? This is what they've been looking for. The entire episode, this whole road trip has been about getting to this place where food can coexist with other food and everything's all fine. And of course, it turns out not to be the promised land. But for this moment, at least, they've made some progress. They're getting to that point where they can finally think about reaching their goal and getting along. And see, there's this really nice slow dolly in at the end there. That's really effective too. And that's how Season 2, Episode 2 ends. Amazon Prime, go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's been my pleasure to break these down. You can find more of these videos that I've made for each episode. This is my 6th section, so I think I took about 3 minutes and a bit at a time and broke them down. And yeah, it was a great experience working on these. Really nice to reflect on it and the memories of it all. And appreciate you checking it out. Thanks, and more to come. Take care.